I got 3 more tech cards. I'm not saying they're meta, so shut the hell up. I don't give a fuck.
Hey, what's up? It's Nepty. How's everybody doing? You guys having fun? Doing little swirlies? Doing your disco flips? Playing peekaboo with some clams? Nice. Today we're going to be doing another Splashable tech card video. On my community tab, I put a poll up. I needed to make a video in between my bigger projects, so I asked my community which one they would want to see out of 4 options, and the, I don't want to say overwhelming favorite, because it was pretty split, but, the majority of people wanted to see a tech card video, so here we are. Thank you for everybody who voted, and, yeah, so, today I got 3 new cards for you. Now, I have to preface this every single time. This is my disclaimer. I'm not saying they're meta. Everybody plays Mermails differently. Some people might like these. If you don't like them, it's probably not for your playstyle. As always, I have a monster card, a spell card, and a trap card. So, these cards that I'm going to mention, the reason they're splashable tech and not just staples or tech choices, all of these cards mention water. That's the point of splashable tech. I don't want to just suggest any card that any deck plays. These are specific to water. But like always, before we go any further, please splash that like button. Then you can take a dip on over to that buoy bell and pop that bitch. That bell will let you know exactly when I put out my brand new high quality Mermail content. This is your home for Mermails, okay? So that's all I cover. That's it. Fucking don't give a shit about anything else. No other archetypes. Don't give a damn. So if Mermail stiffens your coral, this is the community to be a part of. So join that reef. Okay, hit the subscribe. I post very often on my community tab, and it keeps everybody involved in between projects. Free entertainment, people, and lets you kind of get a little insight into what's coming up. But with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into these splashable tech cards. Alright, so the first card I have for you guys is Cataclysmic Circumpolar Chilenia. Fuck this name. I love this card. I actually didn't know this card existed for a while. This is a really interesting card. It rewards aggression as well as it's a defensive card in a lot of ways. It is a level 8 fairy water monster with 2,600 attack and 200 defense. The effect reads, if a face-up water monster you control is destroyed by battle or an opponent's card effect, you can special summon this card from your hand. Then you can send 1 random card from your opponent's hand to the graveyard. You can only use this effect of Cataclysmic Circumpolar Chilenia once per turn. Okay, let's unpack this shit. So right off the bat, it's water, and it summons itself. That's cool. It's level 8, so that matches Mooling Glacia. So you might be able to XC into some rank 8 afterwards, some kind of shit like that. But the cool thing is, you can ram, like, a Neptybus into something, and then you summon up this, and then rip another card from their hand. So this card is a very good going second card, but also, if they run over something on the board, like a toad, well then, this monster can just summon itself, and then randomly rip another card from their hand. That's cool. I love that. Plus, it's a 2,600 beater. You could also activate her effect off of Ghost Ogre or Gamma. You're going second, and you activate Swap Frog, and then they pop it with a Baron de Flor or something like that. Well, then you could just summon this card out as another effect, and it also baits another negate if they have something else on the board too. So, yeah, I actually like this card a lot. I don't play it, but that's because I would rather play this in like a going second heavy deck. Just running over people, popping, ripping. I don't know, that's the kind of gameplay I would like there. But yeah, just an interesting monster that not a lot of people know about. This time I have a field spell for you guys, and it's the one from the Deep Sea Archetype. Now, when you first glance at it, you're like, I don't like playing field spells in my Mermail deck, which I get. I don't necessarily want to designate spell spots for a field card, but this one's rather interesting when you think about the way we already build our Mermail decks generally. It's called Mage Atlantica, the Deep Sea City. This card is always treated as Umi. That doesn't really matter for us, not relevant, but anyway. When this card is activated, you can place one water monster from your deck on top of your deck. Once per turn, you can target one water monster you control. So that's the cost. Increase its level by 1 or 2 until the end of this turn, even if this card leaves the field. So that's pretty cool, it's permanent. Once per turn, during your main phase, if you special summon a water synchro monster, easy clap, you can look at your opponent's hand, and if you do, banish one card from it face up until the end phase. So it's essentially a second minstrel, which, wow, that's pretty good. And the deck control is pretty interesting because how many cards do we draw with? Well, there's two I can think of right away. We have the Formula Synchron, if you run that, and also Crocodragon, so that's pretty cool. Also, Coral Dragon if it dies. So yeah, you can definitely draw cards. So you could absolutely craft your deck to where you can get the card you want in the same turn. So for instance, I use this card's effect. I put a Teus to the top of my deck. I use my Megalo, my Neptybus, and a Fishborg launcher, and then I go into the Crocodragon. I'd get to draw 2. I just got my Teus and another card I might want for the same play. That's bananas. Also, think about this. You activate its effect, you put a Dragoon to the top of the deck. You special summon a Minstrel, well then she gets to mill. You get to put a card on the top of your deck that you want to be milled. That's really good. You can put a Neptybus to the top of your deck, so then it can be milled, and then you can special summon any Atlantean monster from your graveyard to the field. That's awesome. So there's a lot of manipulation here. There's a lot of ways to do this. You could use the draw effects, you could use the mill effects. I think that's pretty sick. But on top of that, it's another minstrel. You can snipe a second card from their hand. Let's say Mula Iglesia is not optional at this point. Maybe use the hand trap or something like that. You can't quite get a minstrel to your hand. Well, this gives you another way to be able to see what your opponent is playing. And then you can further make your board accordingly. So it's probably not for everybody, but I think it's a rather strong card. And then also the level manipulation too. For instance, you have this card on the field. So then you use Neptybus's effect, sending Dragoons to the graveyard and adding a Goons to hand. The Dragoon in the graveyard searches Lapis Dragon. Lapis summons itself, then use this card's effect of level manipulation, boost it to a level 7 tuner, and then combine it with Neptybus. You have a level 8 synchro right there. That's pretty nuts. Let's think of another one. Okay, so you have a Fishborg launcher and you have a Teus on the field or a Megalo. Well, you just change the level of Teus by 2 levels, so he's now a level 9, plus the 1 Fishborg tuner. Boom, Baron to floor. That's pretty cool. I think it's awesome. And if you don't want Baron, you can go into a rank 9 Crocodragon. So yeah, there's plenty of different applications for all 3 of these effects. I really don't care about the Umi thing. That's not what we give a fuck about. But yeah, 3 very, very strong effects that if you can master this card, yeah, it's pretty good. Alright, for the trap card, I have White Howling. This card is very interesting. It's a trap card, so generally speaking, you're going to be siding this out going second, blah blah blah. It is a normal trap card that reads, if you control a water monster, okay, easy, target 1 spell in your opponent's graveyard, that's the cost, banish it, and if you do, for the rest of this turn, negate all spell effects on your opponent's field. That's crazy good. That's really good, especially today where there's so many strong spell cards. Man, field spells are broken today. You guys know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many strong spell cards, continuous spell cards. Man, this card absolutely shits on Sky Striker. I'm just gonna say it right now. That's crazy. For the rest of this turn, negate all spell effects on your opponent's field. The rest of your turn. That's so cool. And if you have something like, I don't know, Dragon Maze that can recycle their spell cards to then fusion more, well then you could just snipe them out. It's sort of a DD Crow plus anti-spell fragrance or something like that. That's what it feels like to me anyway, but it's specific to if you control a water monster, which I find so cool. I think there's plenty of applications for this. There's a lot of decks out there right now that require spells. Let's say Despia. What can they do without branded fusion? You know what I'm saying? Super Poly? None of that stuff. it's not being activated. It's for the rest of this turn. I even love the artwork. I mean, it's a wolf. It's not quite a water theme, but I don't give a fuck, man. I think that's so cool. Like, just think about this. We have the Mr. Rune or Runic, whatever the hell they're going to call it for the TCG. That deck is going to be shit on by this. If that deck goes second, oh man, this card claps that deck. That whole archetype is spells, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's ridiculous. Yeah, so I mean, I'd be interested to see how someone can utilize this against, you know, the next format, because a lot of strong spell cards. Who knows? But yeah, that's the trap card I have for you. Very cut and dry, or in this case, cut and wet. But either way, those are 3 very interesting splashable tech cards that you might possibly want to think about. So yeah, again, I'm not saying they're meta. I'm not saying I'm gonna run these. I'm just bringing them to your attention so you can make the decision for yourself. So I hope you guys like this video. I personally love the Splashable Tech series. I'm glad people want to see them for the most part. Even though I chose one video to make out of those 4 options in the poll on the community tab, that doesn't mean I'm not making the rest of those videos. Just keep that in mind. But yeah, I just have to have some kind of projects I can work in between all the bigger videos that I'm making, because the other ones take quite a lot of effort and these are very easy for me to put together, but they're always interesting. So again, I appreciate all of the participation in the community tab because you guys are the shit. And if you like this video, please splash that like button. Then you can swim on over to that buoy bell and slap the shit out of it. That bell will let you know exactly when I put up my brand new high quality Mermail content. And join the reef. We have great conversations. There's more and more activity between viewers. I put out shit tons of posts on the community tab. I can't stress that enough. I love the engagement from all the people watching. I also give you guys sneak peeks into the next videos that are coming out. So, just saying, it's free, it's worth it, it helps me out, and it also means a lot. So, please, until next time, boys. Bye.